guide. Sometimes I went as a counselor. Sometimes I hiked with the pastor and another person as we hiked from group to group. In 1998, I went as a guide with 8 of somebody else's 16-year-olds. 5 boys, 3 girls. 6 of them were from our church. 2 of them were, and our church was in a pretty well-to-do area. The other 2, one was a nephew of a church member and one was his friend. They were from the inner portions of Fresno, California, in the Central Valley, farming area. Not very well-to-do at all. Pretty much inner-city kids. I met the 2 boys for the first time the night before we left, as they brought their backpacks in to check in and get everything set. We were going to leave at 5:30 the next morning. I see these 2 16-year-old boys. Shaved heads, tattoos, and piercings. Now in 1998, this was not normal for 16-year-old boys. Things may have changed a little bit. So needless to say, here I am at 5'4" and looking up and going, holy crap, I'm going to be with you in the wilderness for 8 days. Luckily, I had 3 counselors with me, but they were polite kids, and I thought, well, I guess this is going to be okay. We go the first week in August every year, the first full week, because we want to miss winter and that first early push of spring where everything's mud and the mosquitoes are rising and the frogs are croaking and everything else. Well, sometimes you run into thunderstorms at that time of year, but this time spring was late, and so we ran into spring and we also ran into thunderstorms. So it was a miserable week. It rained every day, hailed half the time. We had thunderstorms, we had lightning. You can't hike when it's like that, and this is all exposed up in the Sierras. And so half the day we would be ducking under whatever trees were around so we could get out of the way of whatever lightning might come our way. Everything was wet. We slept under a big blue tarp, everybody together. We cooked everything together. So pretty much by the end of the week, we were all tired, wet, mosquito bitten, and hadn't had a lot of sun. Somehow managed to have fun despite it, and somehow, despite how different these boys were from the other kids, the kids integrated great. They had a lot of fun, despite the weather, despite the mosquitoes. And the last day was a long day. And of course, everything was washed out. There were markers that were gone, and we were mostly off trail anyway. We found ourselves, I thought, this isn't quite right. And I look, it's only about a quarter of a mile away, but I realized that we were supposed to be in that green spot over there instead of this green spot over here. Only problem was that you had to go down 1,000 feet to get up to the other 1,000 feet. But if we didn't get over there, we would miss our trailhead and not get home. So we did that, and kids grumbled a little, and we put up with a little bit more rain and lightning and thunder. Finally got to the trailhead, and just about half an hour before we got to the trailhead, the sun came out. It was glorious. We had been cold and wet all week. Sun comes out, and it was like, ah! So we get into the trailhead, and I just said, you know what, guys, let's goof off. So we had our little wilderness footballs that were, people's pillows wrapped up and stuff. We were playing wilderness football, had dinner, and had a campfire. Even with wet wood, we managed it. And sun went down, kids went to bed, except for the 2 boys. They sat up with the counselors, and we were just looking at the sky. They had lived in Fresno all their lives. They had never seen really stars. It's bright in the inner city. They looked up, and I was looking up, and I said, my God, beautiful night, look at those stars. And one of the kids said, well, gee, Kari, it'd be even better if it weren't cloudy. And I said, cloudy? There is not a cloud in the sky. They said, yeah, look at that, right across there, there's a big cloud. I said, that is the Milky Way. Huh? You're talking about a candy bar, and we're looking at, no. It took about 5-10 minutes for all of the 3 counselors and I to convince them that this was indeed our galaxy and we were looking at millions of stars. And they just sat there speechless for about 20 minutes. One of them had tears running down his cheeks. Big strapping boy. Tattoo, 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 skinhead, pierced, double pierced. I don't know what all that meant. And I thought, God, what a gift you gave me. Had to wait a little while for it, but what a gift you gave me. We all went home, had a great time on the way home. Said goodbye to the kids, got big hugs, big smiles. 2 months later, I was diagnosed with cancer. Rocked my life. 2 foundations. I got so many cards, so many well wishes. We had a ficus tree in the living room, hung all the cards on the ficus tree to help me remember every time I came down the stairs that I wasn't going through this by myself. People were thinking about me and praying for me. One day I went, got the mail. Actually, I didn't get the mail. I wasn't that strong. My son got the mail and brought it to me. There was an envelope. I didn't recognize the handwriting. Opened it up. This card from the 2 boys. The one's aunt had told him that I was sick. So they found the card. They both wrote it on it, and they sent it to me. They wrote, "We just want you to know we love you, Card, and that we're praying for you." I presided over a banquet that week as a guide. I presided over sharing and caring for 8 of somebody else's teenagers. I got to give that banquet. Some of them were well-to-do, a couple of them weren't. I don't know what troubles some of them had in their lives. God blessed me later. He blessed me on the trip, but he blessed me doubly later. I got to the dinner. The dinner was late. But because it was late, the blessings were even greater. I didn't have to wait till the resurrection of the righteous. But let me tell you, that day I opened that card from those 2 boys, telling me that they loved me and that they were praying for me. That was like the resurrection of the righteous to me. God welcomed me to the table. And instead of me giving the banquet, I was the one partaking of it. And I thank God that day. And I thank God every day since.
We're going to sing from the Red Hymn Books, hymn number 773, Precious Lord, Take My Hand.